On May 25, 2024, workers on an oil platform in the Campos Basin, located between Rio de Janeiro and Espírito Santo, witnessed a mysterious light emanating from the seabed. Even though the light was seen by most of the crew, they couldn't figure out what was causing it. Right before the end of the video, the worker that was recording the incident explained that the sun was just setting, ruling out the possibility of the anomaly being sunlight going through clouds. Another intriguing aspect about this video is the intensity of the light, especially considering it was recorded when it was not yet fully dark, yet the light could still be clearly seen from far away. One of the theories that was raised to explain this incident is that it could be just bubbles from a gas leak. Given that the anomaly was only seen from afar by the workers, it gave the impression that it was a bright light, though this theory was never 100% confirmed. Apart from the 1-minute video that was shared online, it's unknown how the light faded away or if it was ever seen again by the crew. Just like the previous video, this incident also took place on May 25, 2024. An anonymous witness was recording an approaching storm in Krakow, Poland, using his drone. Everything was normal until he reviewed his footage later that day and noticed an unusual object moving rapidly across the camera's field of view. The object's exact speed is challenging to determine due to uncertainties regarding its size and distance from the camera, but analysis using artificial intelligence estimated that it was moving at 100 meters per second. Speculation arose that the object might be an insect. But considering the altitude of the drone and the typical erratic movement of insects, this theory hasn't moved further. Also, a similar incident was already featured on this channel, where a white object was recorded reportedly moving at 10 times the speed of sound. Despite multiple efforts to identify this fast-moving object that was recorded dashing through the skies of Poland, its origin still remains a mystery. Additionally, no follow-up on this incident has been provided by the author of the video. On July 4, 2019, a resident of Albuquerque, New Mexico was out watching fireworks in his backyard. Nothing was out of the ordinary, but things took a dark turn when he saw a black object coming down from the sky. According to the witness, the object came down really fast until it suddenly stopped and hovered right over his house before changing course towards the street. The object was described as matte black, surrounded by some kind of field. It also made rumbling noises when its exhaust fired up, similar to the sound of jets. Regarding how the object got away, the witness explained that it started sparkling and giving off a lot of smoke until it dissipated into nothing. Though this wasn't the only sighting of this particular object, in October 2009, in Caversham, UK, a similar object was witnessed by a family on their way to a fair. One of the kids started shouting and pointing at the sky. When his mom looked and expected to see a plane, she saw a huge rotating object emanating a bright orange light. After a few seconds, the light went out, but the object was still rotating. In complete shock, the whole family watched the object hover in a straight path until it eventually vanished in the dark sky. Despite the 10-year gap between these sightings, many believe the objects observed were the same, due to their similar shapes and behaviors. However, as of the publication date of this video, the origins of these objects in both cases remain a mystery. On March 13, 1997, an event known as the Phoenix Lights occurred over the southwestern states of Arizona and Nevada in the United States. This phenomenon was widely observed by numerous people, leading to consistent reports from witnesses in both states. Tim Lay and his family were among those who provided detailed testimony about what they saw during this sighting.
Hal and I had been coming back from visiting some friends, and normally we tried to eat dinner by 8 o'clock. We were running a little late, pulled into the driveway. Hal was sitting in the front, and as I came around to the side of the door, he looked out the side window and he saw up in the direction of Prescott 5 distinct lights that it actually looked like they were on top of a balloon.
As they looked up at the sky, Mr. Lay and Hal thought that it was a balloon with lights. Even though at first the lights seemed close to each other, as the object approached, the distance between the lights kept increasing. That is when Tim and his wife, Bobby, who came from inside to take a look, thought that it was a formation of helicopters. But only after a few minutes did they manage to figure out the shape of the unidentified object.
As we were standing there watching it, after a few minutes, maybe 6 or 8 minutes, I'm not sure, all of a sudden, instead of being 5 lights in a round arc shape, the lead light seemed to come out in the front, and now it looked like a V formation flying towards us. All of a sudden, I caught the image of what it was. I could see its outline. It was almost the same exact color of the sky, but because it was passing over stars, the stars were being blocked out and then come back after it passed. And it looked like an actual, very geometric carpenter's square.
After a few more minutes, Mr. Lay explained that the object seemed to have dropped altitude and was hovering right above the street. His grandson and several other children, who had been excitedly watching the object, suddenly became frightened. As the object kept moving, Tim explained how the object got away between 2 mountains.
We live up on probably about 1,200 feet above sea level. We're in a little valley above Phoenix, and surrounded by this valley are like little mountain peaks. And there's this 2 peaks, and in the middle of it, a little hill. This thing went right through the crack in the mountain. It flew right through there. It didn't go over the top. It just barely fit.
Mr. Lay assures that he had never seen anything like this before, given that the object was about 700 feet long and moved at only 10 to 15 miles an hour, which doesn't explain how such a large object could maintain momentum at such a low speed.
When we talk about this, people get picky and they say, well, you know, was it 200 feet? Was it 182 feet away? Is it 12 feet wide? You know, etc. Listen, it was freaking huge. It was going really slow. It had these big lights in it. It didn't make a sound. That's the point. It was there. We saw it. There's no doubt in our minds whatsoever what we saw. My wife and I work. He goes to school. That's our lives. We're normal folks. We're nothing special.
Despite being widely regarded as one of the most important UFO incidents in history, characterized by numerous reports and a multitude of witnesses across 2 states, the true origins of that mysterious object remain unknown even decades later. But now, if you made it this far into the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to this channel. You can also support us by becoming a member by clicking on the join button below. It will help immensely. I also want to take a moment to thank all of the members of the channel. A big thanks to Paul Gardner II, Christine Smith, Dee Smitty, and Manuel Rocha for helping to support the channel. It means so much to me. With that being said, let's jump back to where we stopped. In May 2024, in Georgia, USA, Reddit user Tightcan9955 posted an odd 1-minute video where a fast-moving light can be seen crossing the skies. Initially, the assumption was that it could be a plane, but the poster quickly dismissed this idea after focusing on a passing plane for comparison. Just a few seconds later, another light entered the frame, this one moving in a different direction. It's also worth noting that the lights seem to make slight turns, but that could be just the camera movement. When questioned about the object's movement, the Redditor claims that when he first spotted the main orb, it was going directly over his house and coming back several times. He also claims that those lights aren't planes since he lives next to an airfield, so he is used to seeing planes going around. Another theory that was raised by the UFO community suggested that those lights were satellites, but the fact that they were moving so fast and that they didn't disappear after a few seconds, as they usually stop reflecting the sunlight, leaves room for doubt. Lastly, another interesting fact in the discussion of this video is the number of similar sightings reported in the comment section, ranging from Sacramento, Tennessee, Florida, and all the way to Italy. Even though we have footage about this incident and a few similar reports from all around the USA, it is still uncertain if those objects were indeed satellites. Since the video was posted online, it is unknown if those lights were seen again by the original poster. And there you have it. A set of mysterious UFO videos from around the internet. Each sighting brings its own set of questions, leaving us to wonder about the mysteries that linger in our skies. What are your thoughts on these encounters? Share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies and stay vigilant. 1%.